Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video, we are going to be talking about planners and how to effectively use one. I'm going to be using Google Calendar in this video, but you can really use any planner that has either a week or a month format, but ideally a week is going to match up with what we're going to do in this video. This is the third video in a series all about planners. My first two videos were about how to create a planner that best fits you. So if you haven't seen those yet, be sure to go check them out. I'll link them here, and then I will also link them in the description bar down below. Before we get into it, I want to just discuss a few features of Google Calendar. The first is this button right here. This is the view button. So if we click on it, this drop down appears, and you can choose to view it in a day format, in the week format, which is what we are going to be using in this video, the month, and you have a few more options down here as well. All of them are pretty effective. It just depends on which suits your style for the event that you are trying to put into the calendar. And then if we click on these arrows over here, they move to either the next month or the next week. You can go both forwards and backwards. So like I said, for this video, we are going to be using the week view. The next thing that I want to point out is this My Calendars section over here. As you can see, my name is right here because we are viewing my calendar. If we click on these three dots right here, we can change the color of my calendar. And I also want to click on this Settings and Sharing button. If we click on this Share with Specific People button right here, it allows you to share this calendar with other people just by clicking this Add People button right here, similarly to sharing a Google Doc or Google Slides or anything like that. When you click on it, you can type in the person's name, and then you can choose the permission that you want to give the person that you are sharing with. The reason why I bring this up is because if you were in a study skills class or support class or really for any reason that you might need to share it with a teacher or someone else, I just wanted to let you know that you are able to share a Google Calendar with someone as well. So let's get out of this. We'll go back to the calendar. The last thing that I want to show you is how to add an event to the calendar. So all you need to do is click on the day and the time that you want to add an event. If you click on the wrong day or time, that's not an issue. You can go in and change it here. You can add the title. You can include the end time. You can change the notification time. So if you want this event to send you a reminder or notification for it, 30 minutes before, or you can raise this or lower this. You can also change the color of the event by clicking on any of these options here. And lastly, down here, this descriptions bar, we will discuss this later on in the video, but you can go in and add more detail to your event here. So let's go back to the calendar. That about covers all of the aspects of Google Calendar that I wanted to address. So let's get right into discussing how to use Google Calendar as a planner in an effective manner. The first thing that I want to discuss when anyone is completing their planner or filling in their planner is to be realistic. If you know that you have, let's say, an away game on Thursday night and you're not going to be home until 8 or 9 or even 10 o'clock, you don't want to plan on completing any homework that night because you're going to be out the entirety of the evening and probably tired once you get home. However, it is really important to note these things that can impact your planning schedule. So I like to refer to these things as non-negotiables. Non-negotiables being any practice, clubs, appointments, family events, things that you need to do, but things that are also going to prevent you from working on your homework or any assignments at that time. So my recommendation is that the first thing that you write in your planner are your non-negotiables. So as you can see, it is currently Friday the 2nd, but we are going to change the week and go into next week. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to create fake non-negotiables just so you can see what your calendar might look like. So I'm going to go into Sunday, October 4th, and let's say you have football practice from 2 to 4 o'clock. So we will click on this, type in practice as your event, starting at 2, ending at 4. Now for your non-negotiables, I would recommend changing the color. The reason why I say this is because later on we are going to add in your homework. And if you have your homework as one color and your non-negotiables as one color, it just visually makes it a little bit easier to see and plan using your calendar. So I'm going to recommend that we change it to red. You can really change it to whatever color you want, but I usually make things red that I need to be like alerted of, or things that are really important that I need to make sure I don't forget. And then we can hit save. And as you can see, it comes up as red while also staying this yellow color because my calendar, as we discussed earlier in the video, is this yellow color. So now let's add in a couple more non-negotiables. So let's say you have a dentist appointment on this day. We'll again change it to red. And then let's say you have an away game on Thursday where you're leaving at 4 and you're not getting back until, let's say 9:30. Again, change the color to red. And then let's say you have practice on Friday from 4 to 6, and we'll change it to red. And there you go. For the purpose of this video, these are all the non-negotiables that we are going to have to deal with. Once you have your non-negotiables in your calendar, we can go in and add in your homework. Now, as we are adding in your homework, we want to plan around the non-negotiables while still making sure that you have ample time to complete your homework to the best of your ability. So if we start with the beginning of the week, we'll start with Sunday. As we know, we have practice from 2 to 4. I would imagine that you'd probably be tired and needing a little bit of a break after practice. So let's plan on getting homework done beforehand. So let's type in homework at 10 o'clock. What I usually recommend my students that use Google Calendar is to create an event titled homework, and then in the description you write in what the actual homework is that you need to complete. Let's say you have to read chapter 12 and finish math worksheet. Now, because we made the non-negotiables red, I would recommend making your homework a different color. So I'm going to leave mine as this yellow color. We can assume that reading chapter 12 and the math worksheet might take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. So if we overshoot a little bit, just to make sure that you have plenty of time, we'll schedule in homework for 2 hours on Sunday. Hit save, and then it comes up right there. Now moving on, let's say that you have a history test on Friday. Because we can see our non-negotiables here, we know that on Thursday, you're probably not going to have much time to study for your history test. So we need to take that into account as we are planning for the rest of the week. Now going back to what I said about being realistic. If we look at Monday, let's say you get home from school at about 4 o'clock. If you're the kind of person that likes to get right into homework right away, then that is perfect. I would recommend scheduling your homework to start at about 4:15 or 4:30. However, if you are the kind of person that likes to have a bit of a mental brain break after you get home from school, then that's fine. Schedule that in and plan on starting your homework around maybe 6 o'clock once you've had time to decompress and relax. So we will start homework at 6 o'clock. And we want to make sure that we study for history. And again, you can add in any other homework that you have. If you know studying is only going to take about an hour or 2, you can schedule that. If you have a few other things that you need to do, you can change the time. The time is more as a guide for you so that you can kind of estimate how much time you think it's going to take you to complete your homework. So we'll hit save. So as we can see, the event is titled homework, and if we click on it, it shows exactly the homework that you need to complete here. So let's add a couple more events. Tuesday, we can see we have an afternoon free again. So going off of what we said before, we like to start our homework at around 6 o'clock. We'll study again for about an hour and a half to 2 hours and study for history. Save. And let's add in one more event on Wednesday. Now, as we can see, we have a dentist appointment on Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30. So we can assume we won't be home until around 7 or so. So we'll start our homework a little bit later on this day. Because this is the last night of the week that we'll be able to study, we want to make sure that we fit in everything that we need to. So again, we'll make it for about 2 hours. If it takes a little more, that's fine. If it takes a little less, that's fine as well. But it's usually good to have some sort of estimate or gauge as to how long homework is going to take you. And then we'll hit save again. And there you go. So even though you are busy on Thursday, you have planned accordingly and set aside time to study for history earlier on in the week. So I think that about covers it. My takeaways from this video are to be realistic when you are planning your week, know what your non-negotiables are, and then plan around those non-negotiables in order to make sure you can get all of your work done without procrastinating. I hope you learned something from this video, and hopefully you can implement these skills and strategies into your daily and weekly planning. If there is a topic that you would like me to make a video on, please leave a comment down below and I will do my best to get to it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.